There's continuous hoopla about the value of time. Now, is time all that they say it's cracked up to be? Is it really that important? I mean, after all, we don't talk about time the way that we talk about money. We don't go after time the way we go after money. Well, I definitely am here to say that time is absolutely important. If you have time, it enables you to do the things that you want to do in life and allows you to learn how to do the things that you don't know how to do but you want to do, or the things that you don't yet have access to do. However, energy is vitally important as well. Yet energy is often ignored. Energy management, the importance of managing your energy appropriately, is a very powerful tool for all of us to grasp. Now, we can ask ourselves, why is energy often overlooked? It's overlooked not because it's any less important, because we need energy to do what we want to achieve in life. It's overlooked because time is much easier to grasp and hold on to. It's much easier to measure time. We understand that if we ask anyone else on this earth, they will agree with us that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. They will agree that 60 seconds equals 1 minute. We are simple creatures by nature. By habit, we gravitate to what we can see and measure. We perceive things that we see as easier to accept in reality, and therefore easier to control and understand. We question things that we cannot see and cannot measure. If we gave ourselves a chance, we would recognize that we have just as much control over our energy as we do our time, and honestly, I would argue that we have more control over our energy than we do our time. Our energy comes from many sources, and no matter what's going on, we have influence on our energy in spite of whatever we face. What we choose to entertain in our minds influence our level and power of our energy. What we choose to feel with our emotions or perceive with our senses dictate the strength of our energy. The people who we choose to have relationships with indirectly influence our energy, but the choosing is up to us. Many of us believe that our relationships have a direct influence on our energy, and I simply don't believe that this is true. When someone behaves a certain way, there's a moment of time where we choose to either continue a relationship with the individual or to not. There's that intermediate force, if you will, that we have between their behavior and our decision making. In that moment, we choose to have a relationship or not to have a relationship with that person. We choose to deem what that person says or does as important, or choose to perceive what that person says or does as unimportant. We assess the level of interaction and level of importance that each and every person has in our lives. Therefore, no relationship has a direct influence on our energy. Of course, there's a tiny exception when our physical world is controlled. But most of us, our physical world is not controlled. And even in instances when it is controlled, in an instance of perhaps a country with a dictatorship, or those who are imprisoned or captured, there is a mental power that exists in each and every one of us. And we need to exercise that mental power no matter what situation that we're in. Now let's get to the importance of energy and why energy is truly so powerful. I can share a personal instance of one day when I was completing the book Journey to Authentic Joy. I had so much energy on that specific day. It felt as if I was placing 200 words a minute on that page, and perhaps I was. As I was working, I received a call that contained some very bad news from someone close to me. All of a sudden, I felt like the energy that overflowed abundantly from me had disappeared within seconds. I stopped writing to lie down and thankfully started to pray. I let my flesh and anxiety, unfortunately, get the best of me that time. I woke up that morning as an undefeated warrior to end up a weak and frail doe preyed upon with a bow and arrow. I decided to go take a drive in the country because it's always easier for me to revamp my energy when I'm surrounded by God's most natural gifts. So I drove through the most abandoned and desolate rural areas of Georgia. I felt so safe as I possibly could feel once I got there. Beautiful tall green trees were everywhere, coupled with thick, ever-flowing green blades of grass. The sky was a beautiful powder blue, with invigorating sun rays shining brightly. The day truly could not have been any more beautiful. I felt as if I could stay there forever. I could not. Or more accurately, I would not. However, what I would do was to bring that peace with me out of those woods. I would decide that I would choose to meditate on God's great gifts on this earth and give less attention to the things that I could not control. The way that we choose to see and use energy is up to us. At any given moment, in any given time, we have the access and power to greater energy. Our energy is going to dictate what we can do, how clearly we can think, and how quickly we can do whatever it is that we decide to do. Energy gives us the ability, speed, and endurance that we need to achieve. Our energy will dictate how much we achieve and the level of quality to which we achieve it. While there are many elements that have only an indirect influence on our energy, that level of indirect influence that those elements have can be grand. It's very important that we exercise as much power and control that God gives us to manage our energy and to manage those indirect influences effectively. That way we can optimize our energy level to accomplish what we want to achieve in life. Therefore, choose your relationships wisely. Choose your environments wisely. Choose your activities wisely. Have intention in whatever it is that you do, whether it's eating, exercises, or whatever. Use intention by gravitating to those people, ideas, and places that bring joy and positive energy to you. Use intention by distancing yourself from those people, ideas, and places that consistently decrease your level of positive energy. God has ordained you as the captain of your ship. Use the authority that God has given you to paint the most magnificent masterpiece of your life with the colors that are in your palette.